Welcome to Pathfinder 2nd Edition. We've received a lot of new players with questions about the lore and the setting. This, more than any of my previous videos, is to give you a brief introduction to the lore of Golarion. Golarion is the default setting for Pathfinder and Pathfinder 2nd Edition. In a lot of ways it is like Earth. It is the third planet from the Sun, it rotates on an axis, it has 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 365 days in a year. It makes conversion very simple. One part that people either love or hate about the setting is this kitchen sink approach. There is not one unified culture or folklore that surrounds the whole planet, but instead many different types of cultures and different types of fantasies that you can play within the same planet. And it's not just limited to European or Western type fantasies either. There is Asian influence, African influence, Native American influence in different regions of Golarion. This can be troublesome for some players and some GMs who don't want their high fantasy wizard to be in the same party as a clockwork inventor or a leshy that throws alchemical bombs. But at the end of the day, you at the table and the GM get to decide what you want to include or not include in your game. The year that it takes place gets a little wonky, but I've made a whole video about that if you're really interested. For simplicity's sake, we're going to say that the default time for this setting is 4723 AR. You can easily derive this number by adding 2700 to our current Earth year. So what does 4723 AR mean? Well, AR stands for Absalon Reckoning. It is when Eredin first rose the Starstone from the Inner Sea, creating the city of Absalon. And I just threw a whole bunch of words at you that you probably don't understand. So let's dive into that. Over 10,000 years ago was the Empire of Aslan. They excelled in technology and in culture and in magic. We'll put a pin in that for a moment. We'll come back to it. At the same time, there was a meteor headed straight for the planet of Golarion that was sure to destroy the planet. This cataclysmic event was known as Earthfall. Thanks to some divine intervention, the planet was not ultimately destroyed, but Aslan was, and so entered the Age of Darkness. The world was forever changed, but not all hope was lost. There were figures that rose to power and others that fell. One figure that rose to power was known as the last Aslanti, as the others had died out. This last Aslanti was Eredin. And this world-ending meteor that crashed into the surface of Golarion was known as the Starstone. Eredin grew in power, becoming nearly immortal. Over 5,000 years after Earthfall, Eredin rose the Starstone up from the depths of the Inner Sea and created the Isle of Kortos, where a great city then flourished, known as Absalon. This became Year 1 AR. This act ensured Eredin as the god of humanity. Faith in Eredin began to grow all over the world, and it was prophesied in the Starfall Doctrine that he would return in the year 4606 to personally manifest in Cheliax and usher in the Age of Glory. This did not happen. Instead, the clerics of Eredin lost all of their divine power. A rift was torn from the material plane into the abyss, allowing demons to enter in through the world wound. An eternal hurricane formed in the shackles. In Cheliax, well, they went into a 30-year-long civil war. Beliefs and prophecy ended. This became the Age of Lost Omens. Absalom still exists. It is a thriving city, sort of the New York and Mecca combined. At the center of it all is the Starstone Cathedral, where the Starstone still rests today. It is said that if you complete the test of the Starstone, that you will acquire divinity. 3 have been known to do it thus far. The Civil War in Cheliax came to an end thanks to some infernal contracts. Meanwhile, the Pathfinder Society explores the world, seeking for information and maintaining the peace, although they don't always agree with each other. I should note here that Pathfinder 2nd Edition is a continuation of Pathfinder 1st Edition. Pathfinder 1st Edition was released in 2008. Pathfinder 2nd Edition came out in 2018, so there's a 10-year difference. Then in that 10 years, it is assumed that the adventure paths and the adventures of Pathfinder 1st Edition had come to a conclusion, changing the world and the environment of Pathfinder 2nd Edition. For example, if you have played Wrath of the Righteous, either the AP or the video game, you will know that the World Wound has been closed thanks to the efforts of the great heroes. So in Pathfinder 2nd Edition, the World Wound has been closed, although there are still demons roaming about. Likewise, the evil Lich Tar-Baphon has escaped his prison, destroyed the nation of Lastwall, and created an undead nation of the Gravelands. There is so much more that I could cover and go into, but I wanted to give you a brief overview of what Golarion is about, so hopefully you now have a better picture. But rest assured that it is very eclectic and there is so much to uncover. In the Golarion setting, you can dive into deep, dark dungeons, or blast undead with unique firearms and strange clockwork inventions. You can travel the high seas and explore new regions. You can fight robots and alien technology, or explore the beautiful culture of the Mwangi Expanse. Of course, you can always fight dragons. Where will your adventures take you? What stories will you tell at your table? The choice is completely up to you. I hope you enjoy Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Welcome, and explore Golarion. If you're interested in these topics or others, please check out my other videos and like and subscribe so you can keep up with more content that I produce. Thank you again, and happy gaming.